Hello, my name is Trayvon Wills, and today I will be giving an informative speech on the philosophical idea of Stoicism. During a regular NBA game, Kobe Bryant suffered one of the most painful injuries an athlete can experience, a completely torn Achilles tendon. While most would instantly drop to the floor, call for help, and ask to be taken to the locker room, Kobe didn't do any of these things. Instead, he calmly stood up, calmly walked over to the free throw line, made 2 successful shots, and then walked back to the locker room himself. That moment was more than a highlight. It was a demonstration of his emotional control, composure under extreme pain, and choice to remain disciplined rather than panicked. Whether he intended to or not, Kobe displayed a modern example of Stoic behavior. Understanding Stoicism matters because this philosophy strongly influences many modern ideas of masculinity. According to Psychology Today, Stoicism-related content has seen a 400% increase on certain online forums, showing its massive cultural impact today. First, we'll look at the historical roots of Stoicism. Then we'll break down what the philosophy actually teaches. And then finally, we'll look at Stoicism in relation to modern day masculinity. So let's begin with the origins of Stoicism and the early thinkers who developed it. We'll start by identifying who founded Stoicism and introduce key philosophers who helped shape it. Stoicism emerged around 300 BCE in Athens and was founded by Zeno of Citium. After losing his belongings in a shipwreck, Zeno turned to philosophy and eventually began teaching on the Stoa Poikile, a painted porch that gives Stoicism its name. His ideas centered around rational thinking, disciplined behavior, and self-mastery. 2 important figures followed Zeno. They were Cleanthes and Chrysippus. Cleanthes helped preserve Zeno's teaching, keeping it, while Chrysippus expanded and organized the philosophy so thoroughly that historians often refer to him as the second founder of Stoicism. His contributions to Stoicism became one of the most influential schools of ancient philosophy. Now that we've covered the background, let's go deeper into what Stoicism actually is, the main beliefs and ways people practice it. We'll begin with the core beliefs. At the heart of Stoicism is the idea that we cannot dictate what happens around us, but we can fully control our choices, our judgment, and our reactions. Epictetus called this concept the dichotomy of control. According to this idea, within our control is our behavior, our decisions, values, and responses, but what is outside of our control are other people's choices, natural events, or anything already in the past. Focusing on what we could control leads to inner peace and a life guided by virtue. Stoics believed there were four main virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Wisdom being the ability to tell what truly matters and make sound decisions. Courage being doing what is right even when it is uncomfortable or risky. Justice being treating others with fairness and integrity. Temperance, or also known as self-control, managing the desires and emotions instead of being driven by them. A prime example is Marcus Aurelius. Despite dealing with warfare, political pressure, and illness, he maintained a calm judgment and prioritized acting virtuously, the exact mindset that Stoicism teaches. Next, let's look at how Stoicism is practiced by different individuals. Stoicism isn't just a theory, it is meant to be lived. Ancient Stoics believed in mental exercises that still help people today, such as focusing on what can be controlled, A Stoic consciously reminds themselves, I can't change the situation, only my response. Reframing challenges, setbacks are treated more as opportunities to grow in their patience or their strength. Daily reflection. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations to evaluate his actions and stay aligned with his values. Staying calm under pressure. Stoics practice regulating emotions so frustration, fear, or anger don't dictate their behavior. Modern psychology mirrors these practices. Cognitive behavioral therapy uses reframing and response-focused thinking directly inspired by Stoic principles. By training their mindsets in this way, Stoics aim to become more disciplined and purposeful, turning hardships into moments of growth, much like Kobe remaining calm under his Achilles injury. Now that we've outlined what Stoicism teaches and how it's applied, let's talk about how it connects to modern masculinity, including both positive influences and the ways the philosophy is often misunderstood. We'll begin with how Stoicism shapes the ideas of resilience in men today. Men who adopt Stoic principles tend to react less impulsively to stress or to criticism. Instead of letting emotions take over, they pause, think through what's under their control, and respond intentionally. Many practice self-reflection through journaling or evaluating their own actions, a habit rooted in meditations. This often results in calmer behavior in arguments, better handling of workspace stress, and decisions based on logic rather than emotional impulse. Stoic-minded men also make choices grounded in values rather than status or instant gratification. They often show discipline in physical and personal routines, training, exercising, or working toward long-term goals with consistency similar to the Mamba mentality many often have, stemming from Kobe. These men tend to act reliably and in fairness, choosing thoughtful communication instead of aggression. Now, let's examine Stoicism and how Stoicism is frequently misinterpreted. Although Stoicism can be healthy, there are many misunderstandings of which can lead to harmful behaviors. Some men confuse Stoicism with emotionlessness, believing that they must hide their feelings, avoid vulnerability, or pretend nothing affects them. This often leads to isolation, burnout, or strain in relationships, which is a complete opposite of the actual Stoic teachings. Media portrays the thought of a silent man can reinforce these false versions. Stoicism often encourages focusing on controllable factors, but this is often misunderstood as pushing some men to refuse help, taking on excessive pressure that cannot be handled, or obsessing over perfection. This can result in exhaustion and unhealthy stress. Misapplied Stoicism may also cause men to overlook others' emotions or view vulnerability as weakness, which damages teamwork, friendships, and family dynamics. So, to wrap everything up, let's review what we covered in this speech. We traced the beginnings of Stoicism through Zeno, Cleanthes, and Ceriphatus, and saw how their ideas centered on discipline, reason, and virtue. We broke down the core teachings and the dichotomy of control and the four virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, or self-control. as well as the daily practices Stoics use to strengthen their mindset. Finally, we looked at Stoicism and modern masculinity, seeing its both strengths in building resilience and discipline, and the other issues that arise when these ideas are distorted into emotional suppression or self-reliance. After hearing this, you can see how Stoicism plays a major role in shaping today's expectations of masculinity by influencing how men regulate emotions, show discipline, and respond to adversity. Just as Kobe Bryant calmly stepped to the free throw line in tearing his Achilles, many men today rely on Stoic principles to face pressure with steadiness and purpose. Whether in sports, work, personal life, business, Stoicism encourages responding with clarity and instead of panic, and choosing virtue over impulsive emotion. It is a reminder to all of us to stay centered, remain disciplined, and carry ourselves with integrity, especially in moments of struggle. Thank you.